Hi, welcome to Paper Tales by Kunali, and this is episode 8 of our photo frame series. Today I'm going to be teaching you all how to make an actual frame, a photo frame from a mount board. So let's start. For this you'll require a cutting mat first and foremost. If you don't have one of these, use a bunch of newspapers. So that's one thing. Then we need a squeegee or something resembling a squeegee. This folder, this bone folder, this is used for making creases from our good quality paper. Paper cutter, glue, scissors in case we need them, and apart from this we need our paper, chip paper. So this is mount board. You'll have plenty of different qualities of mount board. This is by far the thinnest one, so you can use this. You can also use cardboard, but using the cardboard, the problem is that it is very lightweight. So if there is a fan around, the frame might topple over. So that's the reason we use a little stiffer mount board. So with the mount board, you need something to cover it up, something really beautiful, some lovely, nice, gorgeous paper to go with it. So this is my Italian paper that I just bought some time ago, and it's really gorgeous and it will make a beautiful frame. So we'll use this one, and some other nice good quality handmade paper I'm using for the back. So we'll use this, and a very thin paper for our stand. So let's start. But to begin with, what we'll do is, you remember the flowers and the leaves that we made throughout our entire session. Now what we need to do is we need to prep them to be put on the photo frame. So now the thing is, all of these flowers and leaves, as you can see, they're all loose. This is all coming, opening up, right? So we need to glue them properly. Even before we stick them on something, I prefer gluing it. So what I do is I take a container, small container, and my glue that I have, I'll pour it in a bit, and I'll add in a little bit of water, just a little. So the ratio we can say is around 60% glue and 40% water. And now what we'll do is we'll mix it up with a brush. So this prep that I do whenever I make my photo frames, I use this, I brush this on my flowers back and front, and I leave them to dry for a day. Completely dry under the fan. So what happens they get nice and crisp, and also you know for a fact that it's not going to unfurl anymore. So what we do is we start with the back and we brush the glue on top like so. This is a long and tedious process, but it makes our leaves and flowers last that much longer. So you continue doing this for all of the leaves and flowers that you're going to be using on your photo frame. So you leave these flowers and leaves aside to dry for about a day, as I mentioned, and they'll become nice and crisp. So they won't unfurl. So this is one sample of what I'd made earlier. So how much ever you try and you push it, it won't unfurl. See, I'm trying my level best. It doesn't come off. It doesn't unfurl. I'm pushing from this side. I'm pushing from this side. Nothing's happening. It's nice and strong. So that's what we need finally. So after this, after they've dried up completely, you can also do one more thing. If you have varnish, apply a coat of varnish on these. So they're going to remain like this for like probably 5 to 10 years. People are going to get tired of looking at your frame, but it's going to last, even despite the fact that it's paper. And people can, clean it with a cloth, wipe it down with a damp cloth. Nothing's going to happen to it ever. So all the tiny dust that accumulates, that can also be brushed off. What I do at my place is I usually take a brush and I just wipe it off, and it's clean. It's good to go again. Another thing I wanted to say is, if you don't have varnish, what you could do is you could use clear nail polish. So we apply nail polish to our nails. The clear one, which is usually available in the market, you can apply a coat of clear nail polish, and that does the trick too. So no worries. You can just go ahead and do that for added protection. So this one thing is done now. These flowers are going to dry off for another day or so, and now we'll start working on our photo frame. Now for the photo frame, as I mentioned, this is necessary. It's really good. No matter how much you use your knife on it, it will keep on mending itself. It's also good for sticking your flowers, placing your flowers for drying and all that stuff. So it's a multi-purpose, okay, for any sort of craft that you do. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our mount board. And another thing, very important thing that I forgot to mention was we need a scale to measure our mount board. So what we're going to do is, most of my frames, in fact all of my frames, are made for photographs that measure 4 by 6 inches. So 4 inches in width and 6 inches in length. So for that 4 by 6 inches, for a 4 by 6 inch photo, I add another 2 inches to the frame. So if it's 4 inches in height like this, I add 2 more inches and I make it 6 inches. And if it's 6 inches, I add 2 more inches, so it becomes 8 inches. So that's usually the size of the frame that I make. The reason I do that is I need space, the inch or the inch and a half that I leave around the photograph. It has space to stick all these beautiful flowers and leaves that we have made. So take your mount board and you measure it once, and also you'll need a pencil or a pen for the measurement. So I'm using a pen so it's more visible. So if my frame, if my photo is 4 inches in height, I need another 2 inches, and why not add another half an inch? So we'll make it 7 inches tall, right? So if I measure this as 7 inches over here, I need 7 inches for the bottom of the frame too, for the back side of the frame. So another 7 inches, and you measure it like so. So the first 7 inches and the second 7 inches. So our first cut is going to be like so. So let's measure 7 inches on top also. Another thing on the sides now, let's also cut that together. So we've got our 7 and 7. Now the frame is the photo is going to be 6 inches wide. So 6, 7 and 8. Let's see if we can get 9 inches from here. Oh, we're getting 9 inches. So let's measure 9 inches over here and 9 on this side. So that's it. We've got our measurements done. So there we have it, two exactly similar portions cut from the mount board. So this is already looking like a frame, you see, and now all we have to do is cut up a window for our photograph. So what we'll do is next, so this one is the back, so this one doesn't need anything to happen, so we'll work on the front. So now we have to cut our window for our actual photograph. So what we need to measure is, I leave about 1.5 inches. We've left the way we've cut this is 9 inches by 7 inches. So we've left about a 3-inch margin extra for our flowers and leaves that we're going to stick on the sides. So the way we're going to cut it is the photo is going to be 4 by 6. Okay, 4 inches in height and 6 inches in width. So what I do is, we got a photograph printed. It's going to be pre-cut and it's going to come in the size of 4 inches by 6 inches. Now the thing is that if we cut an exact 4 by 6 window over here, our photograph is going to pop out. We don't want to do that. So what we'll do is we'll add a little bit of extra margin to our frame so that it gives those edges a little more space so that it doesn't pop out and they're settled in that space. So that is what we need. So according to that, what we do is, how we measure it is, we've left 3 inches, right? So 1.5 inches on this side and 1.5 inches from the top. So what we'll do is, instead of marking 1.5 inches, we'll mark it 1 and a 1/6 of an inch. Instead of a 1/5 of an inch, a 1/6 of an inch. So this is 5 and another one, so 1/6 of an inch. Same on this side. What we'll do is 1.5 and 1.6. Same 1.5, but you'll add another line, that's 1.6. In the same way, we'll measure it, how we're going to cut it, like this. So 1.5 and 1.6. So that's going to be our crossover. Over here also 1.5 and 1.6 on this side. Same over here, 1.5 and 1.6. So this is our window. So we have about 1.5 inches over here, 1.5 inches on all the sides, all the 4 sides, and this is exactly where we need our window to be cut. Now what we do, see, so the reason we did this is, now our flowers can sit like this and we can add our leaves over here So this is the space that we need, the extension we need for our photo frame. So that is why we are leaving this kind of space. That is why we are making our flowers just yay big and not bigger, because they are not going to fit in the frame. So I have this made. I was working on something and I made this. This is a little bigger for our frame. So we need about this size of flowers. So this is about 4 centimeters tall, this flower. 4 centimeters tall and 4 centimeters wide, whereas this one comes out to be about 5 centimeters tall and 5 centimeters wide. So this is way bigger. Unless and until you want to extend the flowers like this, or you want to give extra space, make fairly small flowers for your frame. So now we'll work on cutting this window. There we go. And this we are going to leave it. So this will work as our stand behind for the back frame. Now once we have this ready, we are going to start covering it up. Now for covering it up, I have this lovely paper that I got recently, and I love the texture. I love how it looks like a wallpaper. It's got this beautiful design and finish, and I absolutely love it. So what we're going to do is we're going to see if this fits right here. It fits perfectly. We're going to cut this off. And now what we'll do is we'll also cut the, so we'll see if it fits properly, if it's, there is space to stick. There is enough space. And what we're going to do is we're going to flip this and place this over here. Now we're going to apply glue and stick it. So let's start doing that. Now what we do is we crease our paper. So we have this nice bone folder, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it on the edges and just work it around the frame. So this helps in folding our paper easily. Same thing, we do it at the center also. There we have it. Now what we'll do is take your frame, you take your cutter and cut a small window over here. And you cut it like this. So So we've got our 4 corners cut like this, internal corners, and we'll fold our paper like so. Same thing do on this side, but do it differently. So this cut comes like this. This is where we are going to stick everything up to the frame, the actual frame. Once again, take your glue and you can apply it over here. Apply glue on the paper instead of on the frame for this side of the application, because it'll get very messy if we apply a lot of glue over here. And what happens is when you apply glue over here on this, it starts warping a bit. So see, it's come up a little bit. What happens is once we make this entire frame, we'll have to push it down with a load of books or a lot of heavy weight on it, and we're going to keep it like that for another day or so. So at least a minimum of 12 hours to 24 hours, we're going to just put weight on our frame and we're going to allow it to be pressed down on. So don't forget to do that. The front of our frame is ready and it looks gorgeous. I love the shine, I love the elegance of this paper. It's just beautiful. So what we do once again is you take your squeegee and you make sure that it's stuck well. And we'll work on our back, on the back of our frame. So we have this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cover it with this gorgeous handmade paper that I have. It complements this paper beautifully, light and dark, and it's got this shine also, so it looks very elegant. And what we're going to do is we're going to use it like so. So this is the space, and we'll add another inch over here, and we're going to cut it. So the back of our frame is ready, the front of our frame is ready, and we're going to stick them. But this center, I don't like leaving it as it is. So what we'll do is the excess paper that we had from this one, we're going to stick it on top like so, and then we'll place the frame like this, and it's going to look nice and classy when you give someone a gift. So this is enough. So what we'll do is we'll fold it like this, This is how big I want the paper to be, and we'll cut off the excess part of this. So here I don't go by measurement exactly, I just see how much space is left and we'll just press it down on it. This unfinished edge is perfect. The more unfinished it is, the more rough it is, the better it will stick. So leave it as it is. There's no need to cut it off again. And now we're going to paste this over here. So you apply glue. We'll just stick these three sides and we leave the top portion open as it is. Now what we'll do is we'll use this to apply glue instead of that, so we know exactly where we want to apply our glue. So what we do is I apply glue only on the edges, so it's much more easier for anybody to slide any photograph. Sometimes they might just want to put a bigger photo, a little bigger, so we'll give them a leeway so they don't necessarily have to cut off their photograph to fit into our frame. That's it. Now we'll push down this frame like so. Make sure that the edges are placed properly. For our stand, as I mentioned, this portion of the window that we'd cut off, we will use this as a stand. So we're going to cut off this much. So this is around 4 inches almost, or 10 centimeters by, we'll take about 2.5 inches tall. So that's the height that we are using. So we'll mark 2.5 inches over here. The width according to me is fine, so that because it's wider, what will happen is it won't wobble, it will have this good space to balance itself on. So even if there is a gust of wind, it's not going to topple over. That's the reason we need a wider base. Got it? Now this lovely paper that I have, let's apply glue. This is how we're going to use it. Now what we'll do is so this portion is going to stick on the back of our frame, and this is going to be our folded portion. So I'll show you how I work it around. So first we begin with applying glue. So this portion we left for the photograph to be slid in. So here is where we are going to stick our stand. Now you can make two stands as I mentioned. One over here, one will be a little on this side for the horizontal placement of the frame, and one will come over here for the vertical placement of the frame. So if you're gifting it to somebody, this is how you can place the stands. But now I'm just making it horizontal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply glue over here and over here, just here. So this way this frame can open up. So you apply glue. Now this entire frame is going to be folded down, and see, there we have it. Our lovely frame is standing. This is how it looks from behind. So it's going to stand in a tilt like so. So wherever you put it, on your mantle or wherever, it's going to stand in a nice tilt, and it's going to show off all your photos beautifully. So I hope you like this portion of the frame series. I hope you learned how to make a frame and you enjoyed how it turned out. I love the colors, the beautiful browns, the nice dark frame with the light gold portion behind, and it's going to look gorgeous once our leaves and flowers are going to come. So if you just want to see, just for the heck of it, let's just put some of our flowers and leaves. We could put our butterfly over here, the one which we made, some leaves. So I'm going to teach you how in the next video how to properly, frame this and how to stick these components to your frame. and they're going to look really gorgeous. So wait for that video. In the meanwhile, keep your frame ready, and we'll meet in the next video where I show you how to make a gorgeous paper quilled photo frame in just a few steps. So thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.